Yeah, fine. So all good. I'm visible, I'm audible. I'm not visible, sorry. I'm audible. And everybody present here, it's seriously good to know. So the thing is like source code management system, that is SCM, is one of the most important part of a developer life, right? So that means whenever we want to code for a project, so in a project there are number of developer 1 2 3, and they all are submitting their code to some place, and after combining their codes we proceed for the project development. Now the problem is the developer are going to code on the daily basis, hourly basis, day and night, yearly, monthly. I mean number of code, number of developer, number of time. So what developer contributed in what part of the project, or which developer is going to trace a bug, or which developer is going to write some syntax error or some bad code. This is really impossible to manage or maintain the individual code of each and every developer. If you are getting my point, for example, the problem with software development life cycle is if your source code is not managed, not even tracked, you won't be able to create that project. That means, let's say for example I want to develop a browser called Firefox, right? So Firefox have number of features like the front end or back end, plugins, operating system support, and very extra community support also. So all these things cannot be developed by a single programmer. Alright, we need a team where we need to track the code, that when the output of or the stage of the code for the product that is very much okay and sufficient, and what code by a team or by a developer making some error, making some bugs for this particular Firefox. So what is source code management system? It will keep track of your code, that what code is raising your error and what part of code is producing good output. That means whenever you save your code, it will keep track all and every activity due to that code, which is going to be in positive manner or in negative manner, right? So similarly with this kind of management, where source code we want to manage that what developer contributed how many part in this product, and this is the developer, due to the code of developer we are facing some problems, some errors. So everything we need to manage in this particular programming word. So I mean are you able to understand what I'm trying to relate or what I'm trying to explain? Everybody, you don't need to turn on your mic, just type a message. Just want one person only. I mean if you're not able to get that point, please feel free to write here. Alright, so maximum people are saying that we need a source code management system, even better source code management system. Alright, so we are going to do the same thing. So what we'll do, I'll give you one project, and all you 16 to 17 people need to develop this code. So I'll divide all you people into teams. You will keep coding on your laptops. I will request you to just push your code on my server I will test, deploy, and if there is any problem due to your code, I'm going to notice you or make you notify by email or something, so that we will be able to understand what code or what line of code is making some changes. Alright, so for this thing, the computer world for source code management was started with very basic tool, that is SVN. So SVN is stand for generally subversions, and this is one of the most powerful and important tool for managing your source code. Many people also known as this SCM and VCS, that is source code management and version control system. So let's say for Firefox version 1, Firefox version 2, so each version have different line of code, amount of code. So the version control system is also maintained by this technology, that is source code management system. So SVN was the project of Apache community, where they people have developed the technology called SVN, where they manage everything like this, the SCM and VCS thing. SVN have one drawback, that is all developers need to code from their home, that is no problem, but they have to submit their own part to a centralized place, and where we will test everything. That means if you are a developer of some part, then you need to submit your code in this location, and here we will rectify, optimize or test that code, right? But you will not be able to access the code of this developer, this developer, or this developer, or this developer. You only have to have the idea of your own code. So in this case, if this centralized place is down, we are going to lose that complete project, right? So we need something better, something very much fast and powerful, that must be not centralized. That means must be not centralized means we don't want to dependent on a single place. That means this kind of technology known as single point of failure. Alright, so somebody created another source code management system, that is GiT. So it's distributed version control system. That means if the code is going to save here, then the complete code will also be here and here and here and here and here and here. Everybody can have the complete source code, and you can trigger your test at your own level, at your own company, or in the real world also, so that if this system is destroyed or down, so we can grab the code from your place, or your place, right? So you got that point. What is the meaning of distributed version control system, where the complete code will be distributed to all developer and here also. So does it make sense for everyone? What is the meaning of distributed version control system? Just want a message, quick message, right? Whenever I'm asking for anything, yes, done, and yes, it's yes, correct. All right, fine. So that means we are able to figure out that what exactly distributed version control system is. Now, without wasting any time, like Git, we also have many codes like Bitbucket. So Bitbucket is also popular these days, or TeamCity we have, so number of things. So SVN, Git, Bitbucket. Right now we are more focused in Git. So let's start with that is Git, right? It's completely platform independent. It's very much up to you. You want to use with Windows, with Linux, or with Mac. It's completely up to you. So to manage source code with Git, we need to have a pipeline. All right, here obviously if you want to create some project, some programming language, so make sure that you are doing your programming in a separate directory that is also called a folder, right? A directory or folder. And here you need to write your code, right? So how Git is working with the real world, we will discuss everything, but how you need to start here, you need to create a very fresh directory and try to write code here, right? So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going into one of my system, right? And this is my, I guess it's Fedora 25, where we are going to use this. Make sure that you have already installed Git if you are using Red Hat, Fedora or something. If you are using Ubuntu based machine, you can always check with this command that the particular software is installed or not. Alright, so see, so we have already this Git software installed here. In Ubuntu you can use tpkg-l pipeline grep-iw this. In Ubuntu you want to install Git, then it's very simple. Sudo apt install Git, it will install that software. In Red Hat you can use yum install Git, it's very simple. But in in Fedora you need to use dnf install Git. So after Fedora 24, right, after Fedora 24 the yum is replaced by dnf, right? It's very advanced package management system for deploying your own source code or maybe better management of your software. All right, so we have Git installed already here. We can use the Ubuntu or Fedora or Windows, you can download the exe file always. All right, so I hope there must not be any confusion with this. Installation is really easy always, right? So it's done for now. So what I'm doing, under my temporary directory in Red Hat, I'm creating one SCM code, that is source code management system code. So I'm creating one directory SCM code here. All right, so the first thing what we did, created one empty directory, and I have gone here. If I'll check, I'm under this directory, right? So as per the diagram, to code locally, create one empty folder and go to in directory. So when you do this, make sure you are using your Git version control system here. So what I can do, before coding you need to do two things. So Git is working into 3 steps actually, right? The first one is initializing, right? Whatever directory you are choosing for code, you need to initialize by Git that yes, we are using this directory, right? So the first thing, to start with a version control system, you need to start with the Git initialization with this directory. So what I'm doing here, nothing is there. I'm using git init command to initialize that directory. Only one time in your entire life you need to initialize that directory where you want to code, right? So initialization is only done by using this. What happened behind the scene, if you can check here, git init command created one hidden directory inside your folder it cannot be seen by like this, it can be checked by this. Under .git directory we have number of things. We'll discuss later what are these things, but yes, when you do this, it will create one hidden folder, that is .git, for managing your complete source code. Alright, so this makes sense also for everyone, I guess. Everyone. Alright, so this makes sense for everyone, that you don't have to. Alright, perfect. So just anybody, quick message yes for everyone. Alright, fine. Now the second thing is like write code, right? Whatever you want to do, start writing code. Fine. Now I'm a developer of many different languages, but as of now I'm writing one code of PHP language. So I'm using abc.php and just doing this, defining one variable $v is equals to 1000 and echo hello world this and echo $v. Alright, so it's all done. So as of now we have like added one file. As a developer I'm using one more file, that is, let's say hw.py in Python, and I'm using Python 3 for just sample code, defining one function that says hww, and it's a very simple message, that is hello world, right? Because this is the function, and I'm going to call this function as if underscore name underscore and double quotes underscore main. This is new style or model of calling function hww. Now, alright. So if I want to run this Python program, it's and if I want to run that PHP program, PHP not found, so I'm installing PHP here. Alright, so it's very simple software for testing your PHP code. So PHP is server-side scripting language. You don't need to like do something like this, just write any code, whatever language you choose, it doesn't matter. I'm just cross-checking the same thing, that all things, everything is working perfectly and fine. So I'm using PHP space this, and it will print back that hello world 1000. So just adding one more step, because it's not coming up with the new line thing. So new line, and that's a new line, right? Fine, I'll run. Fine, it's new line. Alright, so now after writing this code, you need to do one thing that is known as staging, right? What is the meaning of staging in Git? That means whatever code or whatever number of files or folder you have just created in this directory, you need to notify to the Git that yes, we have created some data under this directory, so that Git can track in future. So staging means just adding those code or data to that directory, so that Git can identify yes, you have done something. Alright, you can cross check by git status. So git status command is showing you that we have untracked files like this. You can add those files by git add file name, so that Git can track, right? Here you can also read this, use git add to track. That means whatever code you have written, you need to just put in staging mode so that Git can track those files. Right? To do this, we need to add that code by using git add followed by file name. Right? If you have one file, two file, or number of files, you can add it like this. If you have number of files, that means 1000, 2000, because when the developer are going to like increase in numbers, then file will be very much in numbers, right? So in this case you can use dot, that means whatever data or code under this present working directory, add everything, right? Otherwise you can add git add the file name or something like this. So if you're using dot, it will add every file. Now the staging is done, right? So this is what we have done, two things. Only final thing we need to understand, but make sure that you are able to understand that staging concept. Please just give me one message, yes or no, so that I can proceed. All right, so you are able to understand the staging thing. All right, so staging is the pre-step, right? Pre-step before track actually. So now if for example we have done with day one code, let's our team is done with day one code, so finally we need to identify to the Git that yes, we have done with the stage one or we have done with the day one. So that third step is known as commit, right? Commit will show one thing, that all the developers have done with one level of code according to them, that may be mid of the day, end of the day, first hour, second hour, whatever you have done. Because when you want to save, you are thinking that the code is okay, you can commit. The original meaning of commit is this will generate a timeline for Git, and this timeline will be tracked by your Git, so that after commit, if there is any changes in your code, so you can always come to that stage point. That means after commit, it will remember what exactly the code was in first day commit, right? That means if I am done with today, that means I don't want to code anymore for now, as of now, so I will use git commit -message. Message is one of the compulsory part here, because it will remind you in future that what was the code of day one. So I'm just writing here day one done, right? And you can add dot, right? So what happened, just we have created two files, two changes, and we have done something like this. Now if I check get status, it will showing us that it will show us no commit, working directory is really clean. That means we don't have to like worry about everything. When working directory is clean, that means we have everything up and fine. So what happened behind the scene, when we committed this thing, Git created one pipeline, one timeline actually. This is what timeline is, and here we have a commit ID where your pointer is pointing that we have this level of code here. So what is the commit ID? To remember whatever we had or whatever we have till yet, till first one. So the commit ID can be checked by git log command. See what we have done. We have committed something. This is commit id and this is the message, right? So this commit id will keep track of two things: how many data we have and what is the code inside that data, right? What is the code inside that data? All right, so this thing happens in this, right? Now let me make one more cleaner. Initializing we have done, so we don't need to do anything. Add, that is staging. Technically we need to add every changes, every line of code in this stage, and when you are confirmed that the code is okay or perfectly fine, you can make commit statement. Now what commit is doing, it will create one pipeline, generate one id, that is number, and it will go to your pointer to point this number, so that whatever code we have added, whatever data we have added, we can check here. Now in second day, day 2, you people also coming on the same page. You go to this directory, again return some code, make some new file, maybe you are changing on the same file, then you are committing again. So what is it will do, it will generate the new id and push that old id to the bottom. So the id is right here, new id is on the top, and your pointer will point to that new id. So in new id location we have the old code also and we have the new code also. So does this thing making some logical thing in your mind? That means the meaning of commit is like this. That means whenever you are going to commit, it will generate one new number and that will be on the top, right? So let me show you. Now I'm going into that directory, again coding in this file, making some changes here, like print alright Google, fine. I'm creating one more file. Let's say let's code dot maybe R, in our language. I'm just using Python as of now, so I'm using print statement, fine. All right, we have made some few changes. How we can track those changes? Git status. So it will show us we have modified that hw.py as of now, and we have untracked files. That means what are the tracked files? Those files which are already being added by us previously. So those files can be tracked, but if you are creating new file, it cannot be tracked. So we need to add this and then done. So by using git add dot, everything is done. Now if I'll check git status, it is saying that your head is on the unstage point. We have modified this file, we have new file. Now the changes to be committed if you want to commit, right? So git commit hyphen message, let's say day 2 code is done, right? This. So if I'll check git status, everything is perfectly fine. To check that changes id, we have day 2 commit id this, we have day 1 commit id this. Now where is my pointer? My pointer is always on the top, right? Always on the top. So if my pointer is always on the top, so that means we have all the data from day 1 to the last. whatever the day is today. Alright, so now the point is, this is your operating system, this is your Git, and this is your timeline. Here we have new ID, it's new ID, and here we have ID. So your Git pointer is pointing the very much latest thing. If you want to go back in this situation, in ID situation that was way back, so you can just pick this pointer, remove from here, and point to this location. When you point to this location, we will be able to only check that code which was on that day. So that means as of now we have 3 files with this pointer. If we go to this point, we will have only 2 files, because the third file we have just added here and 2 files we had in the previous. So this process of going back to the old commit is known as rollback. That means we are not getting very much good result in the new changes. The older version was good. Sometimes what is happening, Firefox 45 is better, but Firefox 49 is not better. So if you want to download the source code of like 45 version, you can trigger your Git pointer to the old ID. Does it make sense for everyone? Right? Does it make sense for everyone? Alright, fine, that's great, good audience. Fatafat reply is there. Alright, so if I want to go back, let's say here is the 3 code. I'll use git log to find that commit ID. Right now, if I want to go to this ID, so git reset hard and followed by this ID, right? So it will go to that commit level which was previously happened. So if I hit enter, now our head is, what is head here? Head is your pointer, yeah. So your head is now at this commit, that is here, and where the message was day 1 done. Now the magic is, if I'll check the number of files, see previously I have checked we have 3 files, and now we have checked we have only 2 files. Anyway, we don't have that changes on the code. See, we don't have that changes. If you go for graphically, even you can check the same thing. So as of now we have our head under this pointer, right? And where head is mentioned, where we are actually, where head is. So if you check your .git directory, you can see that there is one file that is head, and here under head we have that reference, that under refs directory, under h directory we have master. So under reps, I can check the reps, under refs, under heads we have master, and here what is the commit ID? 423. See, 423. So that's why we are able to. Now I want to go back, then I can just copy that new ID and I can again reset this thing. So now our head is under day 2 commit. If I'll check, all 3 files will be here, and if I'll check with that under this, so now the new commit ID is here. So where your head is, it is mentioned under this location. Alright, this is a bit internal for GitHub, but yes, you can change from that location. So you got that idea of head pointer. So where your head pointer will be, you will be able to access or maintain that level of source code. Alright, done for everyone? Fine. Now the next thing is, this is really important. If I want to please make sure, you will be able to understand the next part when you are really okay with this, right? You will be able to understand only when you are able to understand this thing, right? These parts. So if you have any problem, anybody, please feel free to ask. So everyone, no problem? All right. Because when we started this, I was trying to tell you that we are using distributed version control system. That means I can distribute the same source code to you. That means this is me, right, Ashutosh, and maybe here you people are here, somewhere you people are there. I have my code in my local system. If I want to share this source code with you or with you or with you, how can I do this? So for this thing, the next version of Git is GiT HUB, right? There is a difference between Git and GitHub, right? GitHub is the place by the same community where you can host this code to this location. You can host your source code management repository to this location, right? So whenever you try to make some changes here, you can upload those changes to your this one. So GitHub is nothing, it's a hosting platform for your code, so that other people can download from this place. So this is one hosting platform for your source code. Git you can use locally, but GitHub for hosting your code. Alright, this is also clear for everyone, the Git Hub part. So what I'm doing, I'm just logging my Git ID, right? So let's say I have my Git version control system ID here, C, right? So you can create your account in github.com, and if you want to host your code, you can go to this plus button option, create new repository. And what is repository actually? The name of your folder, right? So repository is nothing, it's name of your folder. So I'm just giving the name same as this, right? It's not mandatory, but for not making any confusion, I'm just doing this. So I'm giving that name, right? I'm again repeating this thing. This is not mandatory that you give the same name whatever you have here, the directory name, right? Here, if you are doing it very first time, you can initialize here, and this is very much similar to the git init process, right? Where we have git init process, because in our current situation we already have initialization step and everything. So as of now we don't need to take this, right? Just create it, right? After creation, what steps you need to perform locally or something from command line, it is showing here: git init, git add, git commit. Now we already have this, alright? So now what I can do, I can use this command in my current code directory where I have my code, to tell my local system that your remote location is this, where we are hosting our code, right? So what is git remote command is this. I'm telling my system local code that your remote location for the same code is this. So this is known as remote add, right? So what we are doing, git remote add our origin to this location to host the same code. Does it making sense also, the use of git remote command? Because after 1 or 2 days people are like really confused. Alright, that means this is fine for you. Good one. Right. Now, after a remote thing, you need to push those changes by using this command. I'll explain you what is master here, but as of now, git push -u is not mandatory, but it's recommended. If you don't use this, there will be no problem, but it's a recommendation from my side that you can use this. So git push -u origin and master. So whenever you push your code to the main account, you must need your username and password, right? So I'm using my username red ashu. The password is not like defining that password. Okay, if the password is correct, see, it will writing code pushing changes to the main account. So if I'll check here, as of now there was no code. Now if I'll refresh the same thing, see, we got all those three and the abc.php something. So, fine. So git push -u origin to master. So till now I'm just putting here history command. Please go through that and make sure you don't have any problem with this. So congratulations, we have done with Git and GitHub around 50%, whatever you need in real life, right? The next part is really logical, really meaningful, that will take more time. But if you are really 100% okay with this thing, we are going to do the next part very easily. Alright, so any problem? Apur, I'm saying that still only 50% part is done. The next 50% is yet to come. But yes, if you are okay with this, then we can proceed further. So whatever we need is, it's very basic, right? Only 50% part is done. So I just want a quick message from other people that you are feeling really type of okay with this thing as of now. Nikita saying yes, Shashank also, Deepshika also. Alright. Fine. So alright, now let's move to the next part, right? So after this, we are extending the level of Git version control system, right? Here, what is the point? we have started one project, let's say, that is known as SCM code. This is, let's say, my repository name. Directories are called repository, right? And what we are doing, let's say we have these number of people, developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, developer 4, and we are committing everything in this repository first locally, then we are pushing those changes to the GitHub, right? So let's skip that part as of now, because pushing only the process of hosting your code to the GitHub. So let's skip this part as of now. What is the point here now? Let's say we have 10 developers, right? Out of 10 developers, 3 developers are working as a backend engineer or backend developer. 5 are working as a front-end, and remaining 2 are working as a add-on or bug testing, or let's say testing of code, right? So see, the backend people have their own strategy, their own code. The front-end people have their own strategy and own code, and the testing people have their own strategy and own code. What is the point? We don't want to share the backend people code with the front-end people, or the front-end people code with the testing people. So to differentiate this thing, and on the whole point, what is the point? What is the main point is, every people is working on the same directory, right? On the same directory. So we don't want to share the code of each and every developer group. So for this thing, the new concept comes in place, that is branch, right? So we'll do one thing. By default, when you initialize your Git, one automatic branch is created, that is master, right? And under this master branch, every developer submit their code, or every developer commit their code. So if there is one branch, then we will be able to check that code of each and everybody. So what we'll do, when you initialize very first time for the master branch, what we can do, we can have number of branch. So one branch is master, other is, let's say, tech, and another is, let's say, a test, right? So master is there, tech I'm going to create, and testing I'm going to create, right? Oh sorry, test. But one more thing, this branching thing needs to be done when your directory is empty. That means when your branch is empty, because other branch is created from master. What does that mean? As of now, we have few code under master branch, and that code is right here, the 3 codes, right? 1 2 3. If we'll try to create the tech or the test branch, so how branch is creating? From the master. So from the master means we will have the same 3 code here also, the same 3 code here also. So make sure when you are creating branches, if you don't want to share the master branch code here, you can create your branches initially. Otherwise you need to share these codes. Alright, so it's up to you, it's completely your management how you are doing. Alright, so to create a new branch or to check the current branch, the command is branch. Only one branch we have, that is master. If I want to create a new branch, the command is git checkout -b, the branch name. Right here we will create the new. So it will create new branch and it will switch you in the new branch as well. So what is our current branch is tech, because tech is created from master, so we'll have that code here also, right? And now git checkout -b, that's a test. So the same code is here and the final branch is test. Alright, so everything we have in this scenario. So we have three branches, master, tech and this. But from now onwards, if we'll code under test thing, under test directory, then the commit will not be affect that tech part. That means if we'll add few line of code, few files, few directory in this branch, it will not affect tech or master branch. Even vice versa also. If we add something here, it will not affect here and here, and same for the same thing, right? So let's do one thing. My current branch is as of now is the test, yes, and I'm adding one more file. Let's say I'm adding a text file, read.txt and hello world. This is ad hoc branch test, just for anything, right? So if I'll do this git status, it will tell you that this is untracked file, so we need to add and we need to commit test branch commit 1, right? Just for my message reminder. It's all done. Now I'll check with get status. Everything is fine. So whatever we have new in this current branch, that is test 1, so this thing is not present neither in this branch nor is this branch. How we can check? If I want to change the branch, the command is git checkout and the branch name. So my current branch is tech, and now we don't have that read.txt. Similarly, if I'll go to the master one, right, we don't have that read.txt, right? So changing our branches by using this command, so whatever we have, everything is like this, right? As of now I'm using same system, same user, but you can use different user, log in with that user and try to do the same thing. All right, so does it make sense for you? What is the purpose of branching as of now? To divide the different developers category source code from each group or something. Yes, for everyone? All right, fine. Now if I want to push this thing, so let's say I'm going to get check out test, here the branch is right here. Now I can push my code origin not into master, this time test. So after origin we want to push this changes on test branch. As of now here we don't have test branch, only master branch, right? So when I'll go for push with test branch, it will again ask for the username and the password, and it will create that test branch in your this directory. See, the test just done a minute ago committed. If I'll go for this, right, let's refresh this. So we have now two branches. If I'll check, here the master and the test, right? If I'll check for the test one, the new code read.txt is here. If I'll go to that master branch, the code is not here, that read test. Alright, now if I want to change in check out tech branch, right? Git status, everything is fine. I'm adding one more file here, tttccchs.txt test check, right? Now same thing, get add dot get commit -m tech branch first commit, right? Now git push -u origin to tech. It will ask for again username and password. We can set this thing without any issue, not to ask username and password, and hit push. Now the third branch is also updated here. See, 3 branches: master, tech, right? This file, the extra one, right? And the test. Alright, so it's all done as of now, right? Everybody okay with this step also? Just want a message yes. Alright, great guys, great, fine. Now sometimes what is the point, because the project is like so big and so long, so what we want to do, we want to merge that master and the test branch so that each group can share their source code to each other and will be able to access. So if you want to merge any 2 branches or maybe any 3 branches, you can use always merge. So let's say my current branch is tech. I'm switching myself to master, right? So my current branch is master. If I want to merge, then git merge tech, right? So what happened, whatever the extra data was in tech, now it also comes with master. If I'll check, see that teech.txt here, and if I'll go to git check out tech, there is the same code is here also. So now if I'll go to get master, check for the git status, so everything is like neat and clean, right? So you can commit by commit is already, you can push the same thing. Now if I'll check on the graphical thing, by refreshing, so on the tech branch we already have something, on the master branch we don't have that code here, right? On the tech we have one extra file, tech. Let's do one more time. Fine. So here we can just make some push here. So git push -u origin and master. So the changes whatever we got from another branch, we can push those changes to master branch. Fine. Now see, if I'll refresh this thing, so we got that tech in master branch. All right, so when we want to push, why we are merging? Because we want to share both the code to you people also, right? That means if I am merging here, that means other people who are using the same branch code, so they must have the same structure, right? Because you people also have the same code here, so you can have that same structure into your plot. Otherwise, if you don't want to this, you can have their separate thing here. So the merging was the requirement, not the decision, right? It was requirement, and you can later you can remove those merges if you don't want to. All right, fine or not, everyone? People gone or are sleeping? Not kidding. Yes, all right. See, Apur is asking something. No, if you are pushing something, it will be not shown on the both place, because merging means whatever we have till yet. That means whatever we have till yet, it will be merged, right? Not for the future thing. All right, fine. So because we have one big vision before this. Actually, when some project is created by some company or by some community, how they are maintaining, let's say I am Ashutosh, I also want to contribute here in their own Git project. You people are here, like Shashank is here, Dipshika is here, Apur is here, right? So we have our own separate Git account, fine, and we everyone want to commit or just give some report to that main project. Now if this company will share its master branch or will give you permission to commit in the master branch, probably you can destroy the code, or you can destroy the code. Maybe destroy, not to destroy, but you can have your own changes on that main code. So generally we don't prefer to share master branch to our other developer. So how to contribute on a project using Git, this is a really important, big and amazing part of the GitHub. That means we are here, how to contribute here, so that the main master branch will not be like damaged by you people, because you will be like making some changes as per your requirement. So it is known as multi-commit, how we can do the same thing. All right, so this is how we can have that. But you have that idea na? How we are going to use this scenario for making your contribution in the real project. So if this is making you more like interactive, more feel better, so we can have this. If you have like really good understanding power, we can continue the session, because it will take minimum 45 minutes, right? Minimum 45 minutes to make you understand, to make you will be able to practical this thing. Fine. So what I want, rather than continuing this session, what I want, you people create your own account, right? Only just account. What I'll do, I'll create one project in my account, then I will teach you live how you can contribute from your own place, and how I'm going to manage this thing as of now with my project, so that you got that code. And if you are like pushing some code, I will review first. If the code is perfectly okay, fine, then I will merge in my main stream. Otherwise I'll reject your request. So you want to practice, you must have to practice this. So I think you can practice, because we have around 10:47 time is, and it will take around minimum 30 to 45 minutes. So if you practice till yet, the next session tomorrow, that will be on the same time for GiT, and tomorrow we'll wrap up this. Yes, I'm just making that